Hi everyone, Eileen here. It's the weekend, so I've got another couple of Lavinia Stamps video tutorials for you. And today I'm sharing one using the absolutely beautiful Bumble Lodge, along with one of the new release stencils called Charming. There'll be another Lavinia video tutorial along tomorrow, but I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. So let's get going and I'll show you how I made this. Very quick and easy to do. I have a piece of multifarious cardstock A4 size, and I have folded it, creased it and cut it to 14 centimeters square, and I'm using it tenfold along with a Sweet Poppy stencil, if I can find it, along with a Sweet Poppy stencil, aperture stencil. Here it is, it was hiding from me, and I'm just popping it onto my card. Make sure that it's got a thin border all the way around so I know the cardstock is central, and popping it down onto my magnetic sheet. Now all I need this for is a guide to draw a pencil line all the way around to give me a frame. So you won't need one of these. Just use a ruler or some stencil tape just to give you that square pencil image. First thing to do is to stamp the fabulous Bumble Lodge. I just love these little fairy houses. There's a whole raft of them. You need them all. They are gorgeous. Gentle tapping. Just taking off with a dry cloth any surplus ink from around the outside. Like so. And making sure that this image goes inside the framed area, except for the top, that will be outside. So over just a smidge from the right, and then down inside the area, and the top of the roof, the chimney area, that will be on the outside of the framed area. Right. Firm pressure. I have a stamping mat underneath, a foam mat that I use. You can use a stamp press if you wish, no problem. Absolutely gorgeous. Quick blast with a heat gun, just to make sure the ink is dry before I apply the stencil. Your card will get a little bit warped, but don't worry, that will go back into shape. Now this stencil is called Charming, and that's what it is. And if you look at the pattern, it's got some larger images, and then the pattern gets smaller as it goes across, or the other way around if you're holding it upside down, or whichever way. I'm using the larger patterned area for this, so popping it on over the top of my Bumble Lodge, and I do need a small amount of tape here just to hold it down, maybe. Yeah, I want to blend ink over this area, but I don't want it over the top of the whole card. So Speckled Egg I'm using, colours, Distress Ink and Dried Marigold. Starting off with Speckled Egg and a blending brush. You can use any blending tool that you have, or a smoothie, or some makeup brushes, or stencil brushes, anything that you're comfortable with. So I'm putting on, this is not too wet, this ink pad. Just very gently, not too much pressure. Speckled Egg, and as I go down I'm releasing the pressure on the head of the brush because I want a fade out look. Don't want it right to the bottom. Bit more ink maybe, and then over to the roof of the lodge. I'm not covering the body of the cottage, and fading it out as it goes over to the right. You're going to get a different look each time you make this card, it depending on the pressure that you apply onto the blending tool that you've got. So now I'm going for orange, which is dried marigold. Just testing to see how much I got on this. Yeah, not bad. And then just gently, you'll get green tones now, of course, as the two of them meet. Just having a quick look to see what that looks like. Yeah, not bad. No, I did move the stencil, but that doesn't matter. And actually, I think I'll leave it there. So I've got it carried on right the way across the roof of the lodge. But it fades out as it goes over to the right, and it fades out as it comes down to the bottom. So lots of white space. I'm not too happy with the colours that I've got on here, but I'm colouring in the roof of the lodge anyway with some pencil, so it really doesn't make any difference. And I'm doing that now. So, what have I got? I've got blues and oranges and some yellows. Starting off with a paler yellow and just coming down from the top, not being too careful, like so, just to give it a bit of a shaded background. As you can see, just adding colour, not being too careful. And then going on to a darker lemon. Now I am going to, this is more orange, so I'm going to start at the bottom now. Tracy has put in some lines to give you a shading guide, and I'm using that guide. You'll see it under the ribbons that are going round the lodge roof. These tiny lines, that just says that there's a bit of a shadow, and I've got them along the bottom here. So I'm going up from the bottom, and as they go towards the middle, it gets less shade. So I'm lighter with the pressure on the pencil, lighter still, and then it gets darker again. The lines get more numerous as you go over to the right-hand side. So that tells me more shading is intended there. See, I'm not very good at colouring, but I've learnt a couple of bits. Now, orange, I've got a lovely orange here that I'm going to put some more in. And you can put as much colour on or as less colour as you like. Going back to a bit of yellow again. And then finally on this bottom bit, I'm going to put some darker blue here along the edges. Don't overdo this though, because this is where it can all go horribly wrong. Just to give it a bit of dimension. Lighter pressure on here so the blue isn't quite as dark. And again, and then increasing the pressure as I go out to the right. Like so. And a bit more yellow here. I think this needs to be a bit brighter. I do like this colour scheme together, the blues, the yellows and the orange. It's a combination of colours that I use a lot. I think we get our favourites, don't we? And of course, the beauty of using pencils is if you overdo it, you can use an eraser. So just lay the colour down until you get a look that you like. And I'm close to that with this bottom part. like so. A bit more there, I think. It's not too bad. And then going up, and this is where I need to be careful, I'm just going underneath these sort of ribbony type embellishments around the roof, because I see that it needs shading in there. A bit more here. You can take your time with this. I'm sort of rushing it a bit to keep the video sort of smaller. It's easier to upload if the file isn't too large. Okay, and then I want some of the blue there again. And this is the dark blue, so I need to be careful. Just give it a little bit of a shade there. That's not so bad, that's good. I'm just having a look at my original, and then I noticed that I did put in some more orangey tones towards this outer edge here. And this one here. And I think that this one needs a little bit of darker tone there as well. And so on. You can go on as long as you like. You can colour in the whole thing if you want. Whatever. Obviously there's some colour already because of the stencil underneath. But still nice to add a bit more. Right, I think that will do me. That's not too bad at all. Let me look at the original. I think this one I've taken more time with, but I don't dislike this one. Let's do a bit of blending at the bottom with the lighter colour. And that's nice. Now, the other thing that I need to do is very gently, I'm just going to give a bit of colour to the stones. I'm not colouring in the cottage itself, the building. I'm not doing that. Obviously, if you want to, yeah, go ahead. It's fine. But I'm going to leave that so that I've got a contrast with the background. I want a bit of blue on the stones. I'm not bothered too much about the colouring skills on these because, believe it or not, I'm going to use a bit of glitter, stickles. So just a tiny bit of colour on these. Right, so that will do. Next, I'm going to stamp my birthday wishes. And this is from a set called Heartfelt Verses. And you get quite a few in here. You get With Love, Just for You, Birthday Wishes, and With Love and Sympathy. I'll show you here. So you get those in there, and I'm using the birthday wishes. Versifying Claire Nocturne. Gentle tap, and I'm coming over to the side, and the H is just on the line there of the border coming down, and that will be my guide that it's in the right place. Down and up, that doesn't look too bad at all. And two more things to do. The first one is to finish the border off, and I'm using a black pigment ink pen for that. Coming down, don't have to be too careful, you can go all wonky, skipping the birthday wishes area though, and then along. This is what the pencil guide was for, of course. It's all wobbly there. That doesn't matter. You'll see why in a minute. Those of you that have seen me do this technique before will know already. So now I'm going to put another line in, deliberately wonky, so it hides any mistakes. Like so. So it's sort of given it a ribbon line all the way round. Right, one more thing to do, and that is to use some stickles. This one I'm using is called Diamond. Just give it a bit of a squeeze to see if I've got any in here. Oh, just about. Must have nipped some of that. And just popping it over the stones. Give them a bit of sparkle. There we are. Don't have to be too skilled with this, which is fortunate as far as I'm concerned. There we are. A bit more there. And that there. I hope that you can see the shine on that. Let me look. Not really, so I'm going to hold it up. I don't think you can see the shine on that now either. Just about there, look. Okay. Right. I've totally enjoyed doing that. So just to recap, there is the card that I've just completed, and here's one that I made earlier. Which one do I like best? Well, I've got more orange on this one, so I think that I like this one. There's a little bit more colour on it. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed doing those. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with something else. Thank you for all the lovely comments you leave me. It's appreciated. Bye for now.